Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Alex Thomas here, back with another episode of Nerd Talk. We're on episode 68. I'm here with my co-host Tyler, aka Mind of a Nerd, and Kevin. What's going on, guys?
Not much. I got home. It was a long ass fucking day at work, and I'm just happy to be home. I hate that fucking place.
I mean, you work at Target, so I mean, it is what it is. What's going on, Kevin?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, same here.
Had a day
here.
off. So.
Oh, you had a day off? Yeah, man. I had to work. You know, I got some filming in today. Did a Blu-ray hunting video. If you guys have not checked that out, go check that out. Bought some things. Obviously, I'll be showing some of these things at the end of the stream. We got some decent topics to talk about. Obviously, our main topic of today is we're doing our spoiler talk for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I'm so freaking ready to talk about this movie. Man, I'm just ready. I'm ready to get through these topics, man. I'm ready to get through these topics. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more. If you guys have not checked out Tyler's Instagram, Mind of a Nerd reviews, definitely check out his Instagram. He has really great reviews, very detailed reviews. Definitely check him out. But yeah, are you guys ready to get into these topics?
Sure.
All right, let's get it. Let's go. Our first topic of the day is casting for the live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie has begun, and they casted. Man, did I just? Damn, I removed the damn link. Goodness, I should be prepared, right? I should be prepared.
Look at them.
I'm not prepared. But yeah, they casted Hiccup and Astrid. They have the actress from Last of Us who plays Sarah, Nico Parker, and Mason Thames. Hopefully I'm saying his last name right. I guess he's from Black Phone. I didn't see Black Phone, but yeah, we got are these our two leads, I'm guessing, our two leads for this film. Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this? I think it's cool. I mean, they look like they fit the roles.
This should not be happening at all.
I agree.
I recently watched the first two, How to Train Your Dragons again. They are both fucking incredible, especially two. I love them both. I haven't watched 3 since the theater, but those first two are still incredible. I don't know why this is happening. This is the same thing that can be applied to the past Nerd Talks where we bitched about the Disney live action movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So is DreamWorks about to go down the same downward spiral with making their animated into live actions like Disney?
If they are, I don't know why How to Train Your Dragon is the first one.
I mean, it's probably the one that
over Shrek.
They can't do Shrek.
Why can't they do Shrek?
I don't think
God
Shrek
forbid
works,
they
bro.
do Shrek.
They can do Shrek.
I don't think Shrek can work, bro. How are you gonna make the ogre looks like?
Dude, how are you gonna make How to Train Your Dragon work? How to Train Your Dragon, all of that, Toothless. His whole character is in his face, bro.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I'm like, they can do dragons, of course.
Yeah, you can, but when you have Toothless, who essentially half his character is his emotions and him being an idiot, no, that you're not gonna do that. You know, the casting for Astrid doesn't bother me. You know, I actually loved her as Sarah in The Last of Us. I did not love her in Dumbo. I thought she was rather awful in Dumbo. The kid from the Black Phone I thought was fucking terrible in that movie. So that kind of hurt me. I was like, he's gonna play Hiccup, really? I don't know. I don't know. This project to me is kind of annoying. I don't think this is necessary at all. I don't know what this is going to add to that movie that needs to be added. That movie is amazing and still one of the best animated movies in recent memory. So every time I hear news about this, until I see footage, I'm just gonna be like, okay.
That's pretty much the same for me. You never know. I think Little Mermaid has hopefully taught a lot of executives at everywhere, saying like, you put care into your live action adaptation, you'll get good results. So
Right.
I mean,
That's
were they good results?
I mean that's all what we want. We just want them to, if they gonna do it with care. Don't just obviously it's all a business at the end of the day. Like that's the one thing we gotta look at it. It's about money. That's why they're doing this for one. They don't. It's about money. It's a business at the end of the day. But
well, to be fair,
you also gotta put care into it. That's what we want as film goers.
To be fair to your point about the business part, the reason why Disney has unfortunately managed to get away with so many awful remakes is because the Disney IP and the franchises and the movies that they actually adapted, they were easy money for them.
Right.
I love How to Train Your Dragon. I love that franchise, but that doesn't have the same pull that these other movies have to make easy money like that.
Right.
So for me, I think that it's more worth it for them to put more care into that movie.
I think they should have done Megamind first, if I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Over Shrek? I mean, we just said it. I think Shrek is their biggest. Shrek is their biggest IP.
I mean, I don't want a live action Shrek. I'm saying like I could see a live action Megamind working. I can't see a live action Shrek working. I can't see a live action How to Train Your Dragon working.
Well, again, it's if they
I don't care. Truthfully, I want them to burn all these fucking things to the ground for all I care. I don't want any of them. But if I had to pick my poison, that's what my poison would be. To your point about Little Mermaid, I don't think the results were exactly glowing because even people, some people liked it. I did too. I saw it. But Little Mermaid didn't make the money they wanted it to. It really didn't.
It's still in the box.
I mean,
it's still in the box office, though, right?
That's a situation of circumstances.
It's still in the box office, though, right? It's still in the theaters. How much is made right now?
It is, but it's only at like 300 million. Well, that's not good.
But you got to think about what the competition is.
I know. I'm not saying that's not a factor.
The movie's fault. That's not the movie's fault for not making a good movie.
I am aware of that.
But the reviews overall, they're good. But as far as money goes, that's the executive's fault for choosing to place it just 1 week before Spider-Verse.
I think there was a lot of people that were just like, it's whatever. There were a lot, as for many people that said Little Mermaid was good, there were an equal amount of people that were just like, it was fine. I don't know. I don't think this was the impact that they wanted, but again, that's what they get for,
the impact that they got is much better than what they got from every other live action remake in the last few years.
How is it better than Lion King? Lion King made $1 billion.
Lion King and Aladdin made $1 billion.
And Aladdin. A lot of people like Aladdin.
I really like Aladdin.
I didn't remember that. But.
I really like Aladdin, but both of those did make $1 billion. But obviously, those are IPs that are fan favorites. Like people like Little Mermaid, but I mean, Aladdin and the Lion King are usually most people's top two.
I truthfully feel like nobody, and again, it's because of what movie came out last weekend, but nobody's really talking about it. Nobody's really talking about Fast and Furious either before people want to start jumping down my throat. Nobody's really talking about Fast and Furious either. But granted, that's because of the quality of the movies. I
mean, but this is like it's about to be one of those summer seasons where we're getting it made me think about that November where we got Bumblebee, Aquaman.
December. That was a December.
It was the end of the year.
Yeah.
But we got all these heavy hitters, and like they expected all of them.
It's too much in a row.
Yeah, Bumblebee was probably the one that failed all of them. Obviously, Aquaman made $1 billion, but
you have to look at when it comes with those kind of things. It's the same thing. Really, Spider-Verse got as much money as it did because of the hype it drew from the trailers and the hype it drew from the first movie.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that these next 3 films, Rise of the Beast, what else? Flash,
Rise of the Beast ain't making shit, bro. I'm telling you right now.
And Indiana Jones.
I take that back.
Back to back. I don't think it's gonna make as much money as Spider-Verse is tracking to get right now. I'm so confident the Spider-Verse will still reign the box office this weekend.
I don't
Maybe
think
not.
So. Well, this weekend,
with Transformer.
This weekend, yeah. But when the Flash comes out, it's clicked. Though.
Yeah. But we kind of went on a tangent. This was nothing about How to Train Your Dragon, but that shows us how much we really we feel about this news because Like I said, I like
mean,
the How You
listen,
Train Your Dragon movies, but I mean, I don't think this has to happen.
I'll say this for the casting. You know, the Astrid, I really like her. She
Mhm.
was good in The Last of Us. I guess I'm the only person who thought the kid was good. The boy, the kid who was good in Black Phone. I don't know. I enjoyed that movie. So I'm not upset by him being Hiccup, but you know, again, this is a wait and see. You know.
All right. So yeah, if you guys got any thoughts on this casting, let me know in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, and it is Andy Muschietti reported directing Batman Brave and the Bold for DC. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I think I got to see the Flash first. He did what?
He did Werewolf, right?
No.
Or
That
no,
was Michael Giacchino, bro.
Oh, sorry.
My God, you were off. He did the Flash movies and the It
He
movies.
did the It movies. He did the first two. He did Mama, It Chapter 1 and 2, and now he's doing Flash.
I don't know why I thought Mike Flanagan did Mama.
No, he did Mama. He did Mama, and that's probably why he got It was Mama, and that's probably why Jessica Chastain got cast in that because she was in Mama as well. But my thoughts on this, I think it's cool, but I need to see Flash first before I really think about his take on DC and the characters and stuff like that. Before I say, I'm all for it. I do like his direction of the It movies, but obviously that's horror, so it's a different thing. I mean, I just have to see the Flash first before I really can give a certain thought of this news. But what do you guys take on this?
Well, I guess this tells us that people at DC like the Flash if he's getting this gig like that right off the bat.
For sure.
The idea of him directing a Batman movie is not bad.
No.
I think with him doing It, I think that can work. My thing is like I didn't think that this was going to be like the Batman where it's serious. I thought this Batman was going to be more like
fun.
Like the DCAU to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
So when I heard this, I was like, okay, that's a interesting choice. You know, my issue, and this is something that I haven't really seen anybody talk about. You know, I have to see the movie, but some people have said this is a legit criticism, so I'm not, giving this up. CGI, bro. I mean, the Flash CGI looks honestly fucking terrible, legitimately. And I saw a review today say the CGI is very hit or miss. I don't want that for a Batman movie. I don't.
Yeah.
And especially the It movies. The first one.
CGI and It.
Sometimes it was a little wonky. And in
sure.
Chapter 2, it was fucking atrocious.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't need that, bro. So if he's gonna do it, please fix whatever. Get new VFX artists for your movie. Do something because some of the CGI look in the Flash is looking.
So this is that's why I don't remember if they report this. So this is going to be live action.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I thought this was going to be animated, but
I think it was only Creature Commandos was going to be animated, and and Herschel, forgot her name.
Okay. I don't know why I thought this
for now at least.
Waller.
Waller.
Yeah. But yeah, this doesn't really bother me. He is a good director, and depending on where they go, he can make a decent Batman movie. Somebody had thrown out Sam Raimi, and I can't escape that out of my mind. I think Sam Raimi would make an incredible Batman movie. I don't know. I guess we got to find out what kind of movie this is going to be. All we know is that Damien is going to be in it.
Right.
Which makes me very excited. That's my favorite Robin. But I don't know. I guess it just depends on what kind of movie it's going to be. If it's going to be serious or if it's going to be like fun. Me personally, I want it to be Now, not on the quality level, obviously. I kind of want it to kind of be like Batman Forever, where it's like really fun.
I think we need that. I think we've had like of all these Batman movies, we've had like just somber and not grim. Like, I got a grim feel. Like, let's just have a little fun. We know this is a separate universe. We got the Batman universe where it's like, you know, that dark grim, you know, feel. Let's go ahead and throw another Batman, or we can have some fun a little bit. I mean, you're about to bring in Damian Wayne. Why not have a little fun? It's gonna be crazy to see a little kid alongside Batman. Like, just go ahead and have fun with it, though. You know?
Yeah. So, well, I guess it's again another wait and see situation.
Yeah.
That's pretty much basically everything with the DCU, especially when we haven't gotten anything of substance with James Gunn's touch in the DCU. So,
right.
Well, I mean, this is the first step in that because this is, you know, this is the first news we've really heard. No, I'm talking about this Batman news. This is the first real news we've heard about the DC universe since he announced it.
Right.
I mean, you know,
which surprised me too, because
we do got a writer strike going on as well. So
it's really surprised me when this rumor popped up because I was like, that's really random. We haven't heard anything about this, and this is what resurfaces, and then they confirmed it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Technically, the first thing we heard is that the official confirmation was that James Gunn is directing Superman.
I forgot about that.
Technically, that's, you know,
I forgot about that.
But you know, I think it's not surprising that this is the first news we gotten since then. But because for me, I think it's more important that we get the directors involved, because I think that's what James Gunn's vision for his DCU is going to be like. He wants creative minds putting their touches into it, not like Marvel, where it's like, all right, fuck the directors, they'll put their feel into it, but we're going to decide how we're going to do things. But I think that for DCU, directors are going to be first and foremost. So I think we're going to hear more director news before we hear about casting news in the future. So I don't mind the choice.
Yeah. So if you guys got any more thoughts on this topic, let me know in the comment section below. Are you guys excited for the new Batman Brave and the Bold movie? Are you guys interested in Andy Muschietti directing? Let me know in the comment section below. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, and it's Fast and the Furious news. We got a new Hobbs solo film has been announced, which it doesn't make any sense because we got a Hobbs and Shaw movie. And it seemed like it's not going to involve Shaw. So I guess they're just going to abandon that franchise, I guess, huh? So, yeah, we all know The Rock is back. I think he can't come out and said it in the interview. I think he's come out and say it, right? I think he said it. So
them announcing this movie would
show that he's back.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know. We talked about this off camera. I'm gonna let Tyler go in because I know he probably got a little rant coming. So, but I don't know how to feel about this. I really would like if they just announced that it's gonna be a Hobbs and Shaw movie and not a Shaw movie. But we know what the movie is about. Obviously, I'll let Tyler get more into it. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Tyler, go ahead and take it away.
So
let everybody know what this is about.
I was less negative on this before they had announced more details on this, and then that pissed me off. So apparently this movie is going to come out before Fast X Part 2, allegedly, and this is going to fill in the gaps between Part 1 and Part 2, or I guess fill in the gaps as to where he's been this whole time.
Right.
I've wasted enough breath on this fucking egomaniac. I'm tired of blowing blood vessels every time they fucking announce something involving him. It's pretty clear at this point why he came back. That it was bribery. They want to say, oh, well, he squashed the beef with Vin Diesel. Okay. You're going to tell me he came back because he made up with Vin Diesel? No. He came back because they offered him a movie. His movie. That's plain and simple. It really pisses me off that they're not doing a Hobbs and Shaw 2 because there are a lot of people that like that movie. There's a lot of people that don't like it, but there are a good amount of people that really like that movie. And to see how hard they set up for a sequel, to just not do it, abandon it entirely, and do this. Why? As soon as they announced, oh no, it's not a Hobbs and Shaw sequel, my interest was deflated, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, bro, I don't care about one without the other. Oh, but it's The Rock, okay? What does that statement? Well, what weight does that statement have when you look at what's happened in the past year and a half?
Yeah.
This man single-handedly destroyed what was left of the DCEU, quite literally, and now he's hell-bent on making a remake to a movie that's not even 10 years old, that nobody's asking for. You know, I was barely even happy that he was back. When they announced he was back, I was like, okay. It did nothing for me. Now you want me to sit here and watch a 2-hour movie that's essentially going to be filler because you're telling me it's going to be filler before I get the movie that I actually want. That's the thing that's pissing me off the most. The fact that it's going to delay Fast X Part 2. That's the movie I want.
Right.
I don't know. I read that and I was like, this is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid. You're just delaying the ending. You're just delaying the ending. I don't know. I don't like this. I'm not interested in this. And it's just another asterisk and another reason to just prove that The Rock is the most egotistical fucking actor in Hollywood. I don't know who's worse, him or Vin Diesel, because Vin Diesel is getting hot shit right now too, because apparently he went and said, oh, the reason Fast X didn't make money is because of Jason Momoa. What? What? This man was in a $1 billion superhero movie. And most, if not everybody, said he was the best part of Fast X.
Right.
So, are you stupid or retarded? Which one? How about you realize that the last movie you made in this franchise was fucking stupid and killed any excitement for the franchise to the point that nobody cared about this movie.
Right.
And it's not helping that you're breaking this movie into 2 and now 3 parts for no reason.
Right.
Like, everyone just wants to put the blame on other people. It's okay to admit when you make a mistake. It's okay. Nah, but we want to point fingers at the most innocent people of them all. Fucking, oh yeah, Jason Momoa, it's his fault. If anything, you should be thanking him. He made like 2/3 of your movie even watchable.
Right.
I don't know. Honestly, they're both fucking idiots at this point, bro. I don't know. I really don't care about this.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Tyler put it perfectly in that one little statement he made that we don't care about one without the other. Like, Hobbs is a good character, but a lot of what made him enjoyable in 7, in 8, and in Hobbs and Shaw was the fact that he has some crazy ass beef with Deckard Shaw, and that chemistry between him and with Deckard was carrying that entire movie in Hobbs and Shaw.
Right.
So, you know, them two just going at it, doing whatever. And I feel like this would have been a perfect opportunity to have the fight that we would have wanted, Hobbs versus Shaw. I feel like we should have been building up to that. But, you know, and now we're having a Hobbs movie and they're saying, oh, this is supposed to explain how he comes back. Who fucking cares?
Right.
You know?
They could have saved that. They could have just did a 30-second reason where he's been in Fast X Part 2. We don't need a whole movie. Like,
they spent so much of Fast X telling us how all these characters come back and how all these characters
unless this has to be tied to Hobbs and Shaw, I don't care. Like, unless you're gonna,
it isn't gonna be tied to Hobbs and Shaw because Shaw's not gonna be there.
No, well, I mean, like they left little nuggets about the little AI thing about the voice behind the screen.
They're abandoning that. That's what I'm talking about. They had all that stuff in there, and it's just for what?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Jason Statham is pissed off too.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
I know he saw that news and he was like, "Wait a minute, I wasn't. Where was I in all this?" But yeah, honestly, that whole thing is just weird. The Rock, again, they said that he made up with Vin Diesel. I feel like after what happened with Black Adam, he was just so desperate to get back into the game that Warner Bros. Was like, all right, Vin Diesel, Rock, cut the shit. And cut the shit. We need Hobbs in this fucking franchise.
They were like the fucking the kids in The Incredibles, and Universal was Elastigirl. You sit down. You sit down.
Yeah.
And The Rock was desperate. His reputation was basically down the drain after Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's not like it's gotten any better since then, but
right.
So
it hasn't, because as soon as they announced this, we were all like, "Oh, here we go again."
That's just how it is with him. That franchise is just a whole whatever at this point.
Yeah, for sure. But if you guys got any thoughts on this news, let us know in the comment section below. Are you guys excited to have The Rock back in the Fast and Furious franchise? Let us know in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic before we get into our main topic, and that is the new TMNT Mutant Mayhem Trailer 2 review. A new trailer just been announced. I did see it when I went to see Spider-Verse, and I thought the trailer was fine. I thought it was cool. I'm not a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I think the animation does look cool. It does, though, a little hint of Spider-Verse. It does have that type of feel with the colors and stuff like that. I do like the voice acting is fine as well. Like I said, I do like the way that the turtles look. I do like their designs. I pretty much like the trailer. I thought the trailer was cool. Go ahead, Tyler.
My excitement for this movie has been very up and down. I was very excited for it.
Marquise.
And then the teaser came out, and I did not like the tone at all. This trailer I thought was better. Yeah, I think the animation. The animation looked good to me the first time. That was mainly why I was excited for it before we even saw the trailer. I was like, "Yo, this is gonna be crazy." I like that we're getting so many different villains we've never seen. I don't see a sniff of Shredder in this trailer. I'm happy about that. I don't think the Ninja Turtles should be fighting Shredder as their first villain. We're getting Bebop and Rocksteady again. I pray to Jesus is better than Out of the Shadows. We're getting Superfly, voiced by Ice Cube, which is
that's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious.
I don't know. It does look like a lot of fun. I just hope that they don't get carried away with all the fan service and stuff, because that's kind of what bogged down Out of the Shadows for me. Now, this movie looks astronomically better than Out of the Shadows. Don't get me wrong. That movie is butt. This movie, I hope they don't get carried away with the fan service and, oh, hey, look, we got this villain. Oh, look, we got this villain. I hope they just make it a thing where it works, but I'll be there day one. I do think it looks like a good movie.
Kevin?
I enjoyed the first time. I really like the story they put together, just the fact that, it's the same basics of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They want to go out in the world. They want to prove themselves. They want to, they want to be seen as regular people instead of just mutant turtles, which is what they are. But the trailer looks awesome. All these.
I like the lines like, "Hey, there's other mutants."
But yeah, I think the tone helps with the story. In the teaser, they didn't get a whole lot of story. They were just there. So I think that's I think that's kind of what made the tone better in a sense, because we got story along with it, which helps it. Whereas in the other one, they were just fucking around for the sake of fucking around. But yeah, I think this trailer is a lot better than the first one. That just makes me even more excited for the movie coming out. It's gonna be awesome.
For sure, for sure. If you guys have seen the new TMNT trailer, let us know what you guys thought about in the comment section below. Are you guys excited for it? Are you guys fan of the franchise? Let us know in the comment section below. Now, let's move on to the juggernaut, and that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spoiler talk. If you guys have not seen this movie, what the hell are you guys doing? Go see this movie. This movie is fantastic. Okay, nobody said. I've seen somebody put a post. Oh my god, the movie was so overhyped. I don't see, bruh. You can get the fuck out of my face with that.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. So if you guys have not seen the movie, go see it. Come back, like the video. Come back. Go to this part of the live stream so you guys can enjoy all the spoilers. By talking about this movie, because it is a lot of spoilers. It's a lot that I want to talk about in this movie. We're trying not to go that long. I do want to go beat by beat by beat throughout the plot, because I feel like it's that important to do. I just don't want to jump between the story. I do want to go in, every scene. The movie is about 2 hours and like 30 minutes long, so it is a long one. So yeah, you guys have been warned. We're talking spoilers. So yeah, you want to start it, Tyler? Go ahead.
So movie starts. I had chills.
You guys want to give thoughts first, or you guys want to just go ahead?
I mean,
we all loved it, dude. Let's just say we all fucking loved this movie.
This,
Kevin, come on, say I hate it.
I'm gonna.
This movie was trash.
I'm gonna get into this. We said it. Well, I said this when we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy, that I felt like I just had a big Marvel-sized hole in my heart. Truthfully, I haven't really felt anything from what Marvel has done in a really long time, and this movie just essentially made it where that hole grew like the Grinch's heart in The Grinch. I mean, truthfully,
nice.
To be
listen, I love
your point.
This movie. I did.
I've always agreed with James Gunn, like he said a few months ago. It's not Marvel fatigue; it's bad movie fatigue. It's mid-movie fatigue. We can only handle so.
Yeah, I don't say these movies haven't been bad; they've been mid.
We can only handle so much mid before we just get checked out. This movie was awesome. I fucking loved it every single second it was on screen. I really liked how, a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't feel like a complete movie. Fuck it. That's what it should be. Right. I think that it needed its time to tell its story, especially when they're diving into Gwen, a lot more into Miles, his parents, Spot. So much crazy shit happened in this movie. It really couldn't have been a single movie. Even if you stretch it, even if you made it 2.5 hours, there's not more you can do in this movie. And I hate doing this because we did this with the last multiverse movie, or a lot of multiverse movies. This movie felt beat for beat. Like, if you look at certain plot points, a lot of major plot points, they're like, listen, this is exactly what Doctor Strange wanted to do. You look at, Doctor Strange was the reason why the multiverse was fucked. Miles is the reason why the multiverse is fucked. You look at, they're chasing him around, a society trying to chase him around. That's what the Spider Society is. That's what the Illuminati is. So much just Across the Spider-Verse reminded me of what a lot of Across the Spider-Verse reminded me of what Multiverse of Madness was, and that's what
this is what Multiverse of Madness
feels like. A multiverse movie feels like. You're traveling into different other places. We looked at Spider-Man India. We look at Spider-Punk. We look at Earth 42, which I know that's a big part of what we'll talk about later.
Also, it feels like there's stakes. Yeah. In this movie, that Multiverse of Madness tried to have stakes, but I mean, at the end, it felt like they really didn't matter at the end of the day.
But overall, this feels like a perfect movie to me, and the only way it can get better is if Beyond the Spider-Verse completes it. Yeah, because that's what honestly that's a lot of what writing on it.
I mean, it's gonna complete it. It's whether or not they stick the landing or not.
Right.
Exactly. Right. That was what I was talking about. But for me, this was the perfect movie. 2 hours and 20 minutes. It didn't even feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It didn't click until I saw it the second time. Where before we got into the multiverse, we already wiped away like about an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get to the Spider Society, we wiped away an hour and 20 minutes.
Right.
That movie flew by so fast. And I just didn't want it to end. And when it said to be continued, I was like, no.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The memes have been crazy on Instagram, TikTok. Like, oh my God. Like, yo, like I seen the Punisher one or with John Burke. Like, oh no. Like, I swear, like that's exactly how he felt in theater at the end. And I don't think I know for me there was no post-credit scene. I did get the Miles will return and you get Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. That's the only thing I got. There was nothing else. So if you guys are seeing this, or I don't think I said that in my review, but there's no post-credit scene, which I was kind of upset, but I'm like, no, maybe they just want to save us for Beyond the Spider-Verse. But yeah, Tyler, let's get it started, bro.
So we open with Gwen. She's playing on the drums. She says, "Let's start this a little differently." We see a bunch of flashes of she's essentially recapping the first movie.
Yeah, which I liked because my fiance didn't watch Into the Spider-Verse with me. Obviously, we watched it on the stream, and I tried to get her to watch it before I did the live stream. But she didn't watch the first. She didn't really remember that much of the first movie. So I love that we got kind of a recap of certain events, but also getting the events of this movie. Like we kind of get like a quick, like, you know, this is what's gonna happen in this movie.
I caught on to it the first time. I was like, oh.
I called bullshit on that.
Yeah,
I mean, when I saw images that we had not seen before, you even see Miles' suit ripped. I was like, oh, that's from later.
That's later, yeah, right.
And essentially, she's walking through her multiverse, and she's depressed. Essentially, she's like, the one friend she's kind of the same thing as Miles. She's like, the one person I made is not even here.
Right.
The friend I made is not here.
She missed Miles.
And she's just really depressed, and essentially her world is watercolor paint.
I fucking love this.
Fantastic.
I'm sure
it's fantastic.
I'm sure that will be a common theme throughout this movie. I love how each universe has its own little animation style.
Yes.
And every character has its own animation style.
I mean,
I really like the watercolor thing.
With Gwen, it's like her background is the emotion that she's explained. Like when she's talking to her father. No, not even that. When I know I'm moving a little more ahead, when she takes off the mask and you see the paint dripping, like her world is collapsing. Like, then go ahead, Tyler.
And I know jumping all the way, but at the end, when she meets up with her dad, the screen goes from dark to bright.
Pink. Yeah, like bright pink. Like, but yeah, I love everything with Gwen. Gwen is probably the standout. Like for real, she's probably like the shining star in this movie.
Just to keep pace, one part when she came and hugged her dad, I like the little perspective things. And then when she came to hug her dad, the watercolor paint kind of like flashes from like this blue depressing color to this little bright white pink, I think it was, and it's kind of infecting the whole room. And and I think it really speaks to her need to have her dad be there.
Yeah,
it's a kind of emotional support.
I also love how when she's looking through her reflection, it's Spider-Gwen, and then when it's just her, it's just her. I really like that a lot. So essentially, meet up with we get the reveal of how her Peter Parker died. Turns out he turned into the Lizard,
right,
and died.
Tried to kill Ned. Yeah. They said that's Ned.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now, this doesn't bother me because it's whatever. It's the origin. I don't. How did he find out that she was Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, whatever?
I think it's
probably one of those instinctive things.
It's
like
more of that, like if they best friends, it's more intuition. Like I know that's you. Like I just know it.
The same way that in the PS4 game on Aunt May wasn't supposed to know that he was Spider-Man, but
Yeah,
she
but
kind of
she knew.
She was just like, yeah,
I'll
no.
always know, you know.
Hey, yo,
That'd
Peter,
be-
take off that mask, bro. Let me see my.
That'd be the one
Right.
part for me that was kind of a reach. I was like, oh,
Do
okay.
you guys know who voiced the Peter Parker?
No.
It is what's his name from Scream. He played Richie. What the fuck is his name?
Oh, Jack Quaid.
He plays the Peter Parker in Gwen's universe. I'm about to be calling out a lot of this stuff when it comes to actors and stuff. But yeah, he plays that Peter Parker just for obviously that quick little moment, which is nice.
So Gwen's dad finds her over Peter's dead body and she runs away. So essentially they're leading a manhunt on Spider-Gwen, which I like that. That's fine.
Typical.
Yeah, very typical.
The fact that we get J.K. Simmons throughout this entire movie.
J.K. Simmons.
He keep getting paid for that Spidey money.
He transcends the multiverse.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. I heard his voice the first time. I was like, yeah, that's funny. And then when I realized, oh, he is J. Jonah Jameson in every universe. I was like, I got to a point where I heard his voice again in another multiverse. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
The fact that they use reshot audio from Spider-Man, like in the Lego verse, it's the exact same line from Spider-Man.
Jumping ahead to that Lego
Spider-Man on page 1 this time. Get out of here.
A quick jump ahead for that. I want to applaud the 14-year-old who redid the Across the Spider-Verse Lego trailer, animated that entire Lego sequence, and I was like, "That's dope." And the fact that he got added into the movie, so I just want to shout him out. You know,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, we're just basically going through the motions, and then we get our first action sequence. And through the PA system comes some of my favorite piece of music that I've heard from a movie in recent memory. I've had it on blast for a while. Spider-Gwen's theme in this movie is incredible. It is a bop, and it is so fucking good that it lasts through 4 tracks of the score of this movie. I absolutely adore it. It is fantastic. So our first action sequence in this movie is a fight between Gwen and the Vulture from, I guess they call it the Renaissance multiverse. That's what I saw people calling it.
Yeah.
Oh man, Vulture's animation it was fantastic. It was so amazing.
Sorry about that.
He looks amazing. I love like the old school thing. I love how she gets knocked into a statue and I think it's like Leonardo da Vinci or something.
Yeah,
and he was like, and she was like,
the Renaissance era.
I loved Gwen's dialogue throughout this entire thing. Like she has that, you know, that quippy line delivery like Spider-Man usually has. It's obviously Gwen doing it. I loved all of this. I love that every animation was like the way he threw things was drawn out, like very particular with what was happening in the scene. Like I know we're probably going to talk about this as well, but the mixing between animations at the same time is incredible. Like it's crazy how they were able to do just like the hand drawn, like the way he looks mixed in with Gwen's animation. Like it just works so well. And I do, this sequence is pretty long. My girlfriend knows, like, damn, they're fighting this guy for like really long. Like, what the hell? But I enjoyed every single moment of this. And I love that she calls out exactly what happened to him. Like, oh, you were sitting at a coffee shop and a portal opened and you just dropped into this universe. You're like, yeah, that's about right. Kind of, I guess, a callback to when Miles called out when Peter came into the universe. But then what happens next?
We get the first moment that I got chills up and down my spine beyond belief. Miguel Ojeda, Miles 2049 bust through that screen.
Yo,
like a motherfucker, bro.
His score when he shows up. Oh my god.
Fantastic, bro.
Yo, and I thought I was like, is they trying to do because I thought they tried to like remix the Prowler. I was like, does that sound like the Prowler thing? But it's not. Yeah, it's something else. I was reading online. Most people was trying to point out that it was they was trying to do like the Spider-Man Unlimited theme, like, and just change it a little bit. That's what they got that from. But his score is dope.
And we get in. Yeah, I like how he shows up. He has a cape, which was weird.
Yes. But I mean, I love that it can go away. Like he can, I guess it helps him glide. So, it's, I guess his nice wing, he got the web wings. He has a cape.
It was funny. She said, "Are you the Blue Panther?" He's like, "No."
Yeah.
What did she call? She called him
Garfield.
Yeah,
Garfield.
Blue Panther. She called him like 3 names.
And I love how he was like, "My name is Miguel O'Hara."
Another universe.
She's like, all right. I don't got time for this.
She said, "Oh, really? I'm not surprised." Like, I'm not surprised at all.
I really like how they made fun of like let's do this one more time, and she was like, "Oh my god, bro, I don't got time for this."
I already heard all this before.
And then we get Jessica Drew, who voiced by Issa Rae, who was very good in the movie.
Yeah.
She got a little spider baby inside her. And
we don't know the sex yet. We want to be surprised.
She was awesome. I like
really
how her webs came out her fingers, and she essentially like just grabbed them and whipped them around, and that was pretty cool. We get this big team up action sequences. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. After everything is settled, they beat Vulture, and Gwen's dad finds her, and she's out of webs, and they have this amazing dialogue sequence. I was like, "Oh, what's about to happen?" And she reveals who she is, and he goes into cop mode immediately, which I was kind of expecting. I was like, that's gonna happen. Then Miguel captures him, and Jessica's like, "Oh, come on, like, just take her. Like, she's not gonna last a single second here."
Right.
And he's like, "Oh my god, all right, let's go."
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to do it. But earlier in the scene, we didn't talk about this too. But so Spider-Woman and Spider-Man 2099, they're having a conversation like, "What about her?" And he says, "No, not her." And she said, "Why?" He said, "You know why."
He mentions the canon in that.
Yeah. But we know why, obviously, because of Miles. Like, that's the one thing was kind of he didn't want her to do it because of
emotional connection.
Yeah. But I did like that little tidbit. But obviously he says, "Fuck it, join the club." And she gets a nice little watch. I love that she points at it like, "Oh, can you go to this can you go to any universe with this thing on?" He like, "This is much cooler than a watch." Don't I love how fucking oh my god.
It's fantastic.
Yo, like, you talking about a serious performance in an animated movie? Yeah, he nailed it for sure. I love this going back later, but when Peter B. Parker is like talking to Miguel, he's like, "You're Spider-Man's supposed to be funny. You're like the most non-funny Spider-Man. What the hell?" He's like, "I'm trying to have a serious conversation." It's hilarious. Oh my god. But go ahead.
So we get a awesome opening credit sequence.
Yes.
I wanted to run around the theater.
I mean, not even that. When we get the I ain't gonna lie, did it feel like the logos were a little bit long? But I loved every single second of the logos. Yeah. Like, oh my god, when you hear the music and the thing, oh man, fucking this movie is incredible.
And we get another action sequence right after. We get our introduction to the Spot.
Oh, the Spot, yeah.
And he's trying to rob this store. The ATM in the store, but he's robbing the store.
ATM machine.
So he's trying to rob the ATM machine, and he's like,
"Oh, he said it.
All right." He's like, "All right, let me just do this." And he keeps messing up, and I like how the machine came out the street. People kept tripping over it, and I liked how the bodega guy had a Jamaican accent. That was hilarious.
That's actually one of Bob Marley's relatives who plays that voice.
I just found it funny. I'm like, it's a New York thing, all right,
for sure.
So Miles shows up, and he's making a beef patty the whole time. But he's like, "Oh, how much do I owe you for the beef patty?"
He said, "You stop a bit so nice."
And Miles delivers. Miles delivers probably one of the funniest lines in the movie. I don't know why it's been so funny to me, but it just has. he looks at Spot and goes, "Are you a cow or a
Dalmatian?" Yeah.
And it's so fucking funny. I don't know. I guess it's the line delivery. I don't know. It's hilarious. Every time I hear, I'm like, that's pretty fucking funny. He goes, "I'm the Spots," and all this bread falls out.
Yeah. Now, I since you brought up the Spot, I didn't realize until after I recorded my review. That is, I said nothing about the Spot. I said nothing about his character. How did I like him? Did I didn't like him? I'm gonna say right at the bat, I did like the Spot, and I didn't think I was gonna like the Spot because when he first shows up, I'm like, oh, he's a goofus. He's dumb. Idiot. Like he's an idiot. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like his persona.
Everyone did.
But towards the end of the movie, he's a threat. He's a threat. He really is. But go ahead, Kevin.
I didn't think that he would. Before the movie. I didn't know that he was going to be the main villain of the story. Because when he showed up in the trailer, I was like, all right, he's a fucking idiot. All right, he'll be some villain that Miles will kick his ass, and then we'll leave it at that. But he was a certified hater. I respect that.
Yeah.
He don't want nothing else but to make Miles' life miserable. I respect that.
Right. I knew he was going to be the villain for both this movie and the next movie. They had leaked out. So when I saw this part in the trailer, I was like, wow, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah, because it just didn't seem like it was going to work.
But they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Even in the beginning of this movie, watching this happen, I was like, I don't want to say this sucks. I enjoyed this, but I was just like, man, this dude's a bum. This action scene was a lot of fun. Spot was getting his hits in, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
But this was a lot of fun. I love the way Miles took him down.
Yeah.
He kind of did the No Way Home thing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I can do geometry.
Poor Dr. Strange. I've been dangling over the Grand Canyon
for 12 hours.
So Miles is late for a college meeting, I guess. His parents are waiting for him, and I love the humor in between this scene. He's like, "Oh, he sent it all in one word." That's funny. So he gets
the dots are coming in.
So he gets in, and they're talking about him, and the guidance counselor's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to have an idea who your son is, and I have no idea who he is." And I like how his parents like give her a bunch of random things about him, and she's like, "There's your story." Funny. This movie is very funny, and this is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. So
I love the dynamic with Miles and his parents. I love it. His mom gets so much more to do in this, and I love every single line of dialogue. It's funny because I was thinking about Tyler. Like, Tyler, did you see your mom a lot in this movie with the way she was talking to Miles? Like, did you see that a lot in this movie?
Yes and no.
I just thought about, because like I said, I've known a lot of Puerto Rican moms, and they're like that. They're like that for sure. But yeah.
So they're going over his grades, and I like how I think he got an A- in English, and she was like, "Ooh, she's a harsh grader." I was like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I got my fair share of A-. An A- is an A-, bro.
Right.
Like, and then she goes, "Oh, a B+ in Spanish," and his dad goes, "Wow,
you trying to get me killed?
You trying to kill your mother?" And she just went off on it. It was hilarious.
No, my parents are always like that. They see one B, bro, and they're just like, "All right, bro, cut the shit."
I don't even think it was because it was a B. I think it was because it was a B.
It was a B in Spanish.
No,
yeah, like, bro.
No,
like,
but you could tell by the reaction to the A- that even a B in anywhere will freak them out. Like,
it was more that it was because it was Spanish. You see when she flick her finger, you see the Hispanic flag pop up, but that's why she was mad. It doesn't make sense. Your mom's Puerto Rican. How are you failing? How you got a B in Spanish? But obviously, he said he got that grade because he missed a couple classes. But I do like this whole scene. Like I say, Miles go through a whole speech about he wants to do this job that he can break dimensions and go the other dimensions because he can learn from other people. Clearly,
that sounds like a good fake job.
Yeah, clearly he's talking about obviously Gwen and Peter, which I do like. I do like all this stuff. But then, oh no, we forgot to talk about when Miles gets into his dorm, his roommate Genki. For one, he's playing Spider-Man on PS5. Two, he doesn't want to be the guy in the chair. He said, "I'm not gonna be your guy in the chair." And I love that.
Are those my Jordans?
You're my Jordans. Yeah, and he takes his Jordans.
You can't help that we're the same size.
I do love all that. And then he tells him to call the cops for the spot, and he doesn't do it because he's sitting there playing Spider-Man. I'm not even gonna lie. If he's playing Spider-Man 2, I wouldn't call the cops either. You handle that on your own, bro. But he comes back, obviously because Spot got away, and he comes back like, I thought I told you to call the police. Well, that's on you, bro. Like basically said, it's on you. Well, I loved all this stuff. I thought this whole scene was great.
So he has to go fight Spot again, and then obviously his dad has to leave, and his mom is pissed. And he was like, "Oh, we'll do all this together." You know,
that felt so real because it's usually I got a wife. I'm about to have a wife. She's the one usually always one holding the bag. Like we get to leave, and she has to be the one sitting there holding the bag and deal with all the bullshit. And I love, like I said, we saw it in the trailer, but I love that the teacher or the guidance counselor caught on. Like, your son, for one, is lying to you. Like, you know, he's not doing what you think he's doing. And I think she does know it. I think it's somewhere in Rio Morales' head. She knows, you know, something is not right with Miles.
It's
and
that motherly figure thing, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a good mother. You'll catch on to shit like that.
Right. Go ahead, Tyler.
So we get another action scene with the Spot. Again, very good. They end up back in where Into the Spider-Verse ended.
Well, the Collider.
Yeah. And his dad is there. I did like when he saved him and he put him right back where he left him. So he knocks him down. And he keeps saying, "I'm your nemesis. I'm your nemesis." And at first, I was like,
"Why do you keep saying
Kingpin?" Yeah. Like, I thought that's what they were gonna do. They showed Doc Ock, and I was like, "Oh, well, it's her probably." And they kept showing the scene, and then we get the line that essentially it changes this whole movie.
It changes both movies
in the most hilarious way humanly possible. The man utters the words that changed that whole movie. Goes, "And you hit me in the head with a bagel, bro." He said that. I said, "Bro, stop it, bro." That's
not even.
You hit me with a bagel.
That's not even the tip of the iceberg, though, because for one, he was in the room when Peter destroyed the Collider.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was holding a vial of shit that had portals in it, whatever, and it spilled on him. That's what changed it to the Spot. But rewinding, he said he brought the spider from another universe that bit Miles. And we obviously know that because if you've seen the movie, the spider is glitching. So we know it's not from the universe. We know that. Well, at least I knew that when I watched it. I said, it's glitching? So
I knew that too. I just didn't think anything of it.
Right. Honestly, but he's the one that created Miles.
Mm-hmm.
There were people who were bugging the fuck out on TikTok and Twitter. I seen people who were like, "Oh my god, he was actually the spider was from a different universe," and I'm just like did you not think of that in the first movie?
Yeah, for sure.
Like nobody did damn of it, but you know, did you not see the spider glitch? They're like,
people getting thousands of views for
that means he's from a different universe. I was like, that was established in the first movie.
Yeah,
I was like, you know, man, you people are more gullible than I thought, but.
It's just, bro, when he said that, me and Kevin had the same reaction. We were like, bro, oh man, what?
Hit me with a bagel.
I was like, oh,
that bagel that changed everything. The bagel that changed everything.
I was like, okay. Honestly, this wasn't
everything all at once would have made more sense. The donut.
You know,
oh yeah,
this wasn't really helping my fear of this guy's a bum. If anything, this hurt it even more. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
So you're a nobody, basically. You're just a nobody character that turned into the Spot.
I don't know. I was like, okay.
But I loved all this stuff though, especially when he's having a conversation with Miles, because you see that hints of like anger when he's coming to him like, look what you did to me, stuff like that. And obviously he kicked himself into a portal.
What did he do?
Which was hilarious.
Kicked his own butt.
Which was hilarious. But then like one thing I think my fiance did have a little complaint about this was that we get a lot more scenes with characters talking. We get a lot more scenes in this movie like that. The first movie we didn't get that. We got straight into the action, get straight into the characters who we know. Boom, boom, boom. This is the mission. Let's go do it. This one we get more time to sit down and have conversations. So we get this conversation between Miles and his dad, but he's in the Spider-Man costume, and I love that he's trying to like not sound like Miles, but also basically talk to him like this is basically telling him what he should do about himself, about Miles. And it's hilarious because in his little voice he's trying to be like give him advice, but he can't at the same time because it's about him. I loved all this stuff. I thought this was dope.
I found it hilarious when he was like, "Oh, he's such a good kid. All right, I'm gonna go," but he just does these things that are so stupid. I love how he was like, "Maybe you should get off the kid's ass." And he was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
He said, "Maybe we should let him spread his wings like this." Oh man, this whole scene was dope.
So after this, we get the scene where he's going to the bakery to get the cakes.
Mm-hmm.
I loved how he was writing on them, and the lady was like, "Bro, this ain't gonna fit on here." He was like, "You could write smaller." He was like, "Well, you could write shorter."
Yeah.
So essentially, he had to buy 2 cakes, which was hilarious.
Which is a line that he said earlier in the movie. He said that earlier as well. He's like, "Oh, let you have 2 cakes."
So I think this is the part where we get the part with the spot where he was like, "Oh yeah,"
inside himself, where he's like, "Oh, I kicked myself in myself." And this is where he goes to all the different portals. He goes to Venom World. He goes to the Venomverse. He goes to some I guess it's supposed to be like an early render of the comics or something like that.
That was hilarious.
Where he gets hit in the head with a bag by a lady.
That lady was wilding. I was like, "Ow!"
Yeah. We go, and I love when he goes to the Venom universe. Obviously, he goes to the lady that work at the store, and she's not phased. She like, bro,
that was hilarious.
I done seen niggas get their head eaten off. This is nothing new, bro.
That was funny.
But then he goes to Lego. He goes to the Lego universe, and I loved all this was hilarious. And the Peter goes into the bathroom, and I love that he takes the thing off and he makes the sound with his voice. Boop. Miguel, we got an anomaly. And I love that Miguel's like, "Oh yeah, thank you, Peter. You're one of our best." Like, what? We haven't even seen anything from this character. He's the best. But and then he makes the sound with this thing. Boop. I was losing my mind.
Yeah, it was for me when he ripped the clothes off. I was like, okay, I guess. I don't know. They were like, "Oh yeah, we made 2 Lego movies. Let's why not?"
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought, "Oh, they did do Lego movies, so it makes sense that they would do this."
So then we get they're at a party. I guess this is the party for his dad becoming captain.
Yeah.
And his mom is giving the speech, and his dad is like, "Oh my gosh, shut up. Give me that." And then we get this little montage of Miles doing all these Spider-Man things.
Yeah.
He
Taking
keeps
down people, and he stopped the guy from stealing a whole bunch of Jordans.
Which was hilarious. So Miles finally gets there, and they're pissed at him, and he was like, "Oh, but I bought 2 cakes," and the cakes got destroyed, and it says, "I'm not proud." And they get into this whole argument, and
felt real, though.
Yeah, and I loved how he goes, "Fine, whatever," and his dad goes, "Wow," because he knew. He was like, "Nope, you fucked up, bro."
Yeah, for sure.
I can't even help you, man.
Right, like you got, and I love that they kind of like double team this whole situation because when she's like, "Oh, whatever," and he's like, "Can I say it? Can I say it?" You're grounded. He's like, "How long? A month." And I love how that joke kind of carries on throughout the entire movie because like it's 1 month, then it's 2, Then he goes back into the room when Miles leaves. Like, now it's 3 months. It's like, and then obviously
Isn't it
later
5 months
she's
by
like,
the end of the movie?
yeah, he's like, tell Miles it's 5 months. I loved all that. That shit was dope.
So he goes into his room and he's like, man, this is fucking stupid. And then Gwen shows up and she's like, oh, hey. And, you know, they're catching up. And this is the part of the movie that kind of broke me.
What?
This was the first moment.
What?
Gwen does something in this scene that I know many people can relate to.
Oh, yes.
When she did this,
oh yeah.
I swear it was like a kick in the nuts beyond belief. And I just wanted to hug Miles so hard. She gets this like collectible thing. It's like a toy.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I used to have one of these. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's a collectible. And she's like, why is it still in the plastic? And she fucking rips it open. Oh, bro.
But it's so funny because and like I said, they're not together in this movie, but you definitely feel the romantic tension. But this is what it feels like if you bring your girlfriend over to your room. And like I said, she says all the right things. Like, oh, this is the room you grew up in. Like she was so fascinated and all this stuff. And yeah, it would make sense that the girl that you like would not know that, oh, it's a collectible. You don't want it to be opened. You know, she don't care about that. She just see that is a thing. And she opened it. I loved all this. I thought, yeah, I felt you. That's like someone grabbing my ghost. That's like someone grabbing my fucking ghost face Funko Pop that has not been opened and opening it. Like, it's not been opened. It's still in the box and everything. That thing is worth a decent amount of money. Like, bro, like, I would be pissed. Like, don't fucking take it out of the box. Don't do it. But
I felt the pain coming out of Tyler, man, in that theater. I felt the pain coming out of everybody in that theater.
My whole theater gasped, bro. We were like, oh, bro. And then even Miles, he goes, it's fine, bro. I was like, my boy. I want to... So after
Gwen lucky it was her. Gwen lucky that Miles liked her as much as he did. Because if it was anybody else, Miles would have just smacked that bitch in the face.
So after this, they go out swinging, and they're essentially playing this game, which I thought was kind of cute. They're like, oh, see that idiot running around? Oh, that's 5 points. Come on. That was funny. And this was essentially a distraction so she could put this little thingy on the wall because she's trying to trap Spot.
Right.
And I like that. When you first see the movie, you're like, what the hell is she doing?
Right.
And obviously,
I kind of knew it. Once I saw that she put the device there, I'm like, oh yeah, she's here on a mission.
I knew that. So Miles was like, oh, where'd she go? And she's like, oh, hey. So they go to this building and they sit upside down.
Yeah, it's dope.
Which was cool.
Great. This is like it's another photo. It's another image that like it could be a poster. It could be a painting on the wall. The way the imagery is, the way the artwork is in this scene is dope. This whole tower made me think of Spider-Man 2, the clock tower that Doc Ock and Peter fights on. That's what made me think about this particular building that they're on. But yeah, I loved all this. Like I said, you just feel the romantic tension between the two characters. And she obviously says it, like Gwen Stacy always falls for Peter Parker. And that obviously this is not Peter, it's Miles, but he is Spider-Man in this universe. And I love that she calls out, like, it doesn't really work out for us at all in none of these universes. And Miles like, man, it's the first time for everything, man, like Miles has learned some nice moves, some nice words, bro. I wanted to fist bump, like, there you go. Uncle Aaron is happy, bro. Like, you went from the shoulder touch, hey, to that's a nice line. But and then it's so weird because after that scene, we cut to them at the party. Yeah. And they're sitting there laughing underneath the water tower. And I'm like, I thought you was grounded, son. Now, that's one thing I'm like, bruh, you're grounded. There's no way you're out here having fun. Regardless of it being your dad's captain party, bro. You're not out here. You're in the house, bro. You're in the house, dude.
I mean, I don't know about all that. Because
I don't know. See, you didn't grow in my household. If we having parties, you ain't out here, bro. You in your room. You don't get to have.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. The thing is like, I don't think they would have wanted to draw attention to that.
I mean,
Even
they
though
already drew attention.
know.
When they were arguing.
I don't think they wanted to make it worse.
We didn't mention this. The DJ's face when they're yelling. Oh my God! I said, yo, this is so real. That's one thing I said. This is so real, bro. But yeah, go ahead.
I love how she was like, his mom was like, I bet she don't even speak Spanish.
Yeah,
that was funny.
What she said, she looked like she's old enough to vote. Like
that was hilarious.
But it has been confirmed that they only like what a year in like a couple months apart. Like what she's like 16 and he's 15, which that's not bad. Like, but yeah, I loved all this. The fact that, like I said, they're having a little moment, and of course the mom cock blocks him, like basically cocks blocks him. And she does the one thing Gwen does the one thing that they don't like. She called them both by their first names. Like, oh, you call it by her first name. Okay. Off to a good start.
But it's actually Captain Morales.
Right.
Or Lieutenant Morales.
Right. I loved all this. We haven't mentioned this. I love Haley Steinfeld in this movie. She is so fucking good. Like, her voice is so like now that I hear her like as her person, like her actual voice, I can't not see Gwen. I just can't not see her when she's talking in an interview. I'm like, damn, like her voice acting is really good in this movie. Same with Shanique Moore.
Gwen's thingy goes off, and she's like, "Oh, I gotta go." And this was the first scene in this movie, on a serious note, that I was in almost tears watching this. I was like, it's one thing to have an emotional scene in a live action movie because it's like, yeah, it works. When you can get me to become disinvested in a movie, a superhero movie, mind you, and nothing is really happening, and I'm on the verge of tears because of how invested I am in these characters.
Mm-hmm.
You've done your job.
Yeah.
And this is even before anything in this movie really happens.
Yeah. Like, this is so far, we're just building to the moment. Like I said, I agree with you. Like this, like I said, these are animated characters and you get the emotion. Like when Gwen walks away and you see Miles's face, like, damn, man. Like, and then like the conversation between Rio and Miles is great.
This scene, honestly, on the second watch, I was in tears because you're listening to the dialogue and she's like, don't let them treat you like crap.
It's a great lesson.
And make sure if you go somewhere, come back and don't get lost. On the second watch, I was in fucking tears because I was like, bro,
this is everything. And it by the end of the movie, he gets lost. It's like it comes back. That whole dialogue comes back at the end of the movie. But also it's a great lesson for one, little kids. Like, it's a great lesson. Like, go out into the world, but you gotta, at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself. And you have to, you want to do all these amazing things, but you always have the ability to go home to love. Like that. I agree. This whole scene is great, and I love that we got more emotional like dialogue scenes between the parents and stuff like that. I loved all this.
So Miles follows Gwen after this, and we essentially see what the Spot did. Essentially, he made like a mini collider, I guess. Yeah, he made and it went wrong, and a whole bunch of holes appeared in the building, and he got sucked through one. And Jessica Drew shows up. She was like, "Oh, what happened?" And essentially, she was like, "I fucked up." And she was like, "Oh, don't tell Miguel. Please don't tell Miguel." And she was like, "You better fix this, because if you don't, I can't help you, bro."
Right.
She told it straight up. So I loved how Miles was invisible the whole time, and he was essentially there. I like how
she can't sense him because he's invisible. Like his invisibility is not sensible.
She looked back, and he's right there. I was like,
but she can't see him. She just see the skyline because that's where Miles is. She doesn't really know that he's right there. I was kind of hoping she was gonna say like, Miles, I know you're there, but that would have took me out of the emotional like draw of the scene. Like I say, it's like I said, the tension, and within the next scene we'll talk about. I love that a certain character points it out. But you just feel the emotion, and like I said, the romantic chemistry between the characters. I like I said, I love all this stuff. I do.
So we get our first well, I guess second multiverse, because we got Gwen's in the beginning,
Right?
But we get our second multiverse. I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Mumbattan or Mumbattan, which is I'm not gonna call it Mumbattan. I'm gonna call it Spider-Man India, because that's what it is. We get Spider-Man India's multiverse, which a lot of people were excited for this. I stood away from this. They were showing them more in the TV spots and stuff. I stood away from this because I was like, I didn't really see nothing from him. They didn't really show him in the trailer that much, so keep it that way. Most people said Spider-Punk was the standout, like, new Spider person. I think Spider-Man India was the standout for me.
After watching on the second time, I can agree with you that Spider-Man India, like, really, and it's funny, he's voiced by Dupender from Deadpool.
Yes.
And
I loved Spider-Man India. He had so much energy. He was so much fun. I loved it. I want a spin-off of Spider-Man India.
For sure.
Like an animated one.
The chai tea joke. What did you just say? You said chai tea. It's like you're saying TT. You think I'm gonna tell you want a coffee with a drink? Like, oh my God.
I was in tears. Bro.
That whole sequence was dope. His whole like, let's do this one more, or I am Spider-Man, and you going through it. I love it. Like, I'm naturally buff, I don't want to get too big, I try, I go to school, I don't really try hard, but I do anyway. My girlfriend looks really good, I loved all this stuff. This stuff was so hilarious. I love that. Like I said, this is where I was talking about. Spider-Man India points out that, how can you guys focus when you guys have all this romantic chemistry going on? Like, and I love, there's a scene where he's in the background. He's like, well, will they or will they? Like, what's going on? I was losing my mind on this entire sequence. This whole action sequence is dope too.
Yes. Dope. So the Spot is going after essentially this universe's super collider. And I love how Spot just walks into the room. He's like, bye.
Well, he's gotten better. Like, he has confidence that that he can be a villain. Like, and even when he's in the room where he's doing the collider, I'm sorry I call you the villain of the week. He's like, oh yeah, you definitely will be sorry for sure. Like, because he's about to do some damage.
And I loved the line. This is really where the movie changes. He goes, I'm gonna take everything from you.
Yeah.
And he absorbs the super collider, and you see this part confused me the first time when they essentially become connected. Hip Spot and Miles. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay. I was like, that was a little weird. I guess they are connected, kind of, because he can see their future, which I guess that's kind of cool, because I honed into the whole thing at the ending, so that's kind of cool.
Right.
And they're trying to break down the force field, and Hobie, Spider-Punk, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya, shows up.
Nice.
Now listen, I really liked Spider-Punk. I did. I think he's a little overhyped, if I'm gonna be honest. I heard a lot of people were like, yo, Spider-Punk was the MVP. I was like, I mean, he was cool. He has my favorite scene one of my favorite scenes in the movie, but it was cool. Unfortunately, his dialogue was kind of messy, and I don't mean it was bad.
Couldn't really hear him. The accent was strong, which is cool. I love that he kept his accent, but it was strong.
There were some of the jokes I heard, and they're funny. His dialogue is good. I'm not saying it's bad. None of the dialogue is really bad.
I will be needing subtitles when
definitely.
I get this movie, for sure.
But there's a lot of points where he kind of just like, and I was like, what? And apparently I'm not the only one, because apparently a lot of people had audio issues watching this movie.
Yeah. I
think they were more talking about like general audio issues, not just
Yeah, I
Spider
know.
Punk.
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying though.
yeah,
Like,
because
I mean, I don't think.
yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, okay. I thought you
No,
meant
go
in
ahead.
general, but yeah, I love Spider Punk in that movie. But
I think the beginning, like because for me it was the beginning when Gwen was playing drums and stuff, it was really loud. You couldn't really hear what she was saying, and I thought that was supposed to be intentional because she's using the drums to drain out everything that's going on, in the background. But when you got things like even like you can't really understand what Spider Punk is saying, and I think it is his accent plus there were certain audio issues. I was watching Kind of Funny. If you guys don't know, Kind of Funny is, but they, it's basically a YouTube channel with a group of friends doing what they do. They reviewed this movie and they had the same thing. They had problems with audio as well. So like I said, it's a big thing for this movie that there's audio issues. That's why I'm kind of scared for the 4K. Hopefully they do fix it in the 4K.
I mean, truthfully, when I get the 4K, I'm gonna have subtitles, so I don't care.
Right.
I just want to know what they're saying.
For the person that really don't do that, hopefully they fix it. But yeah,
well, if you don't
I'm
watch
probably doing.
movies with subtitles,
I'm probably doing
it.
I'm doing the same thing anyway. So yeah.
So get this action sequence in Mumbai is really, really good, and we got all the Spider-Man kicking ass and teaming up and trying to save all these people. And we get a moment again. There are a lot of these that on the first watch kind of means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
On the second watch, you're like, shit. There's this little kid on the bridge trapped, and I guess the police captain in that universe is gonna save him. And Miles is like, "Oh, I'm gonna grab him because the bridge is about to collapse." And Gwen is like, "No, don't." And he's like, "Relax, I'll be back." So he saves him, and her reaction was weird because she was happy that it happened.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, she essentially called him amazing when he did.
Yeah. And I was like, that's a little weird considering she knew what just happened.
Right.
And you hear, oh, a Canada event is incoming. Watch out. She's like, yeah, I got it. That was a line that the first time I watched it, I just threw that out. I was like, okay, whatever that means.
I got some issues with the whole canon thing, which do I want to talk about now? Do I want to wait till the end?
No, let's talk about it at the end. Well,
yeah,
what we can talk about during that scene, but
yeah, because I have some issues with that whole thing. So we'll get to it. Let me not try. Well, obviously when we'll talk about it, we'll get to it. But go ahead, Tyler.
So after this, they're like, "Oh, clean this mess up. Let's go." And Jessica's like, "Oh, he's coming too. Come on, let's go."
You going to Spider?
And they're in the elevator, and I laughed because they're upside down.
Yeah, right.
So they get in, and we get the amazing shot of seeing all the Spider people,
Spider-Man in the universe.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of people when that Blu-ray comes out, or when it comes out in digital. So many, really, just count how many Spider-Mans we can see in that entire room. It's gonna be really awesome.
I mean, let's go ahead and just mention the ones we don't have to mention all of them, but the ones standouts. We get Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Man Unlimited. We get obviously Insomniac Spider-Man. We get a lot, man. We get a lot.
That was an awesome.
But the most important thing we got, which had my theater in tears, we got the Spider Jeep, which was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, a lot of people crap on the Spider Jeep, and rightfully so. It's fucking stupid. For that reason, it's fucking stupid. Spider-Man does not need a vehicle. It's stupid. But I love that it was in this movie because they know it's stupid for Spider-Man to have vehicles. That's fucking funny. So we also see a Spider-Man with a horse. And he's like, why is the horse wearing a mask? That was hilarious. I loved it. That is not the only animal with a Spider-Man, which we will talk about.
We get two different animals.
So they walk into this room, and there's like a whole bunch of traps, and they're like, oh yeah, these are essentially like villains that are like fallen from other multiverses. We saw Craven. That's the first time we saw Craven. I was like, he looks really cool. We saw there was like a female Mysterio, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we got the second moment in this movie that absolutely fucking broke me.
Facts.
for a lot of people were like, "Where's Prowler in the MCU?" They teased
Right.
it in
Homecoming.
this,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people were like, "When is he gonna show up?" They teased it. Well, Spider-Verse has you covered because he shows up right there as the
Yep.
fucking Prowler
Yep.
in the suit with a
In
British
the suit.
accent,
Yes.
which was weird, but yeah, the Prowler live action showed up. Now, the first time I saw it, I thought it was weird because it was a live action and animated hybrid.
Yeah.
The second time it didn't bother me. I was just like, wow, oh wow.
I mean, what this shows us, it's weird because we shouldn't be surprised because earlier in the movie we had the Spot jump into the Venomverse.
Mhm.
And that's animated mixed in with live action. But that shows us that they can bridge the gap between live action and animation. So I guess our theory might be true where we mean beyond the Spider-Verse. That means they are going beyond the animated.
Because
I feel that's coming, bro. I do feel
no.
it's coming.
Let me tell you why. Because it was reported today that I guess I don't know if it was the animators or what. They reported that there was a live action animated sequence made for this movie and they scrapped it and they said they literally said they were like it was fucking stupid and they didn't like it. That was actually a sign of relief because me personally, I don't want them to go live action. I just don't.
Yeah.
That's just me. But
when
I read
like
that, I
live
was
action,
happy
like
about
make
that.
the characters. You mean make the characters live action, or like the animated characters in the live action world? Like,
or you mean
have them live action, like everything live action?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't need them to do that. I mean, make live action characters into animated characters.
Yeah, that's fine.
For me, I like that with the Venom universe and with Donald Glover's Prowler. What that shows us is that, you know, whatever animation or live action style that they came into the movie with is how they're going to be in every other multiverse. So I enjoyed that.
Like,
I felt like that was the more correct choice. I don't think that making Miles into a live action version when he enters into the live action world would be a smart decision. If you're going to have him enter a live action world, you better figure out how to blend animation with live action because that's the only way it should be done.
Like, I love that Insomniac Spider-Man was Insomniac Spider-Man.
The game.
Yeah, he looks like the video game.
Spectacular Spider-Man is the same animation style from the show.
That's I wish that Ben Reilly had looked like Spider-Man Unlimited. He doesn't really.
Well, I mean, he looks like the comic. He looks like the comic book version. That's because I think the way Ben Reilly looks, he's from the comic. Like he's actually from that universe.
And then we saw one of the worlds. He looks like the comic world, and we see Lego Spider-Man look like Lego Spider-Man.
Right.
In that Lego world. I don't think that the animation styles or anything should change. It's just like, if you're going to put Miles into a live action world, you better learn how to blend live action and animation well, because that's the only way, and I think the proper way you go about it, especially within the rules of this universe.
Yeah, absolutely. So we finally get our first. Before this, I love this joke. Obi rips this thing out the wall, and he's like, "Oh, see, this doesn't even do anything." He's like, "Well, it could have done something if you didn't just rip it out the wall." That was hilarious. So we finally get our first scene with Mr. Miguel O'Hara, 2099 Spider-Man, officially. And he's looking through the multiverses and all that, which was cool. And we get his backstory, which is kind of fucked up. Essentially, his Spider-Man, him in his universe got shot and killed. And so he essentially replaced that, I guess, variant with himself.
He put himself in a different universe.
And
this is what my problem is with his whole canon bullshit.
And it's disrupted the canon so hard it destroyed the universe. I was like, yo, that's some dark shit.
Which I feel like I need to talk about my problem with his whole canon situation. So go ahead.
Sorry, let me put this. I like how this kind of confirmed. I don't know. It kind of looks similar to what we saw in Doctor Strange with like how the universe starts to drip in that black ooze, and it kind of looks similar, not exactly the same, but it looks
It was glitching.
same
It wasn't-
effect. Yeah, but I think they're kind of following the same rules in each universe. Maybe it's because that one is more, I don't even know. It's specific for animation, and what we saw in Multiverse was specific for live action, or they're just two completely different things. I don't know. Like the rules are kind of weary, which I think is your problem with canon events.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and lay it out now, just so I can get it out. So my thought was the reason why the universe was destroyed is because his atoms don't he can't be in that universe because he's not from there.
Mm-hmm.
For one, he didn't have a watch. For one. Two, he knows that he can't be there. That's why it was a canon event. It wasn't that he stopped himself from getting killed. He went to another universe. Now, my thought, that's why I didn't want to talk about it, because the scene later with Gwen shows that doesn't matter. The canon event bullshit doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
Because Gwen's dad he quits his job as captain. Also, we know that the spider that's from Miles' universe is not, well, this one that bit him is not his universe, right? Mm-hmm. You take that out, but he basically changed the canon event with that Miles not becoming Spider-Man. It was supposed to be that Miles that became Spider-Man, not the one we have. Mm-hmm. Which didn't destroy that universe. That universe still exists because Miles went there.
Well,
the reason why everything is happening in Spidey Indy is because of the spot. It's not because it's a canon event. It's because the spot was involved in the collider. That's why that's happening.
Miguel kind of answered that little thing, that little quip. It's the fact that Miles was the original anomaly, anomaly. He was the original anomaly that kind of spiraled into it. Like the captain in Spider-Man India's world being killed, I don't think that the way that he dies was going to stay the same had Miles not become Spider-Man. But he was going to die regardless. That kind of started a ripple effect across everyone else. But overall, those things will still happen. As far as Gwen's dad dying, I don't think that changes because he quits being captain, but it's not interfering with a canon event. You could very easily answer that with, another person that Spider-Woman will eventually get close to will become captain, and that captain will eventually die. There's a lot of ripple effects that happen with Miles being Spider-Man in the first place, but I don't think the actual thing that happens is going to change. Spider-Man India's captain was always supposed to die.
I feel like it's gonna be a twist with the whole canon stuff. I feel like it's gonna be that. I don't feel like it's gonna end like how we expect it to end. I think Miles is fun.
How are you expecting this to? I don't know how to expect for this to end.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is what I meant to say. It's not going to end how we expect it to end. You know, like it's gonna.
Because you don't know how it's going to happen.
Right. Exactly. But I feel like Miles is like. I think that's why I went back to the two cakes. I feel like it's going to end in his favor at the end of the day. Like. I think he's gonna be able to be Spider-Man, and he's gonna be able to save his father at the end of the day. I think that's the way it's gonna go.
At least how it affects multiverse, it's not gonna end. It's not gonna go all the way. Or maybe Miles accepts it. I don't think he will accept it.
That's what I'm saying. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting because that's the one thing I was contemplating especially after my second watch. I'm like, is Miguel O'Hara really right about everything he's saying, or is he just going off what he's done, and is it affecting how he's running this spider society? That's the reason why I said that's why I felt I don't really get why it's so big for him to stay there, because even if he's the anomaly, why does he have to stay there? Just let him go home. Like if he can't stop it, just go ahead and let him go home. Like, you know, like I don't know. It just felt like it was just a big thing to keep him there. Like I said, I love the whole chase sequence and Miles doing everything he's doing, but I just felt like this is like, I don't know. And like I said, maybe I'll watch it again and my thought will change.
Well,
But that
actually,
was
no.
the whole thing,
If you're saying letting Miles go home, no, it's because if Miles goes home, now he's coming home with the information that his dad becoming captain is eventually going to die. So he can't just let that happen. He's got to allow the dad to die first, and then he'll just go back to his universe. But with the canon event, I liked how they kind of pseudo explained it. You know, it's not just something that's supposed to happen in their life, which for some reason many people on Twitter got completely wrong already what a canon event is supposed to be. Like, oh, things that go wrong in my life, oh, it's supposed to happen. I'm like, okay, I mean, if you want to view it that way for religion, that's one thing,
right?
Just because of canon events, that's dumb. It's just like kind of cool, the same plot lines in every single Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you know, someone close to them dies, and that's what allows them to grow. What the police captain that they're close to is going to die.
That's what I don't understand, because he had Uncle Aaron. Like, Uncle Aaron was his person that died.
Well, again,
people had Uncle Ben too.
It was whoever they were close to, which happened to be their uncles most of the time. But for Gwen, again, that person close to them was Peter. But the other canon event that led to him about his father was the captain. Whatever captain that they were close to dies, and which is what we got the cameo from, not cameo, but like a little replay of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Yeah, I love that though.
He was feeling shit for.
I guess Toby's the only one that Toby was the only one that didn't get that canon event, I guess, because he was not close with the captain.
Yeah,
he actually yelled at the captain.
You're supposed to be close to the captain.
He told Toby he told off his captain. No, I have no intention of setting it down.
Like if that
killed my uncle, and he stood out there.
I really liked how they followed that kind of plot line through with the canon event and just like things that happen with Spider-Man. Because in my head I was just like, I never really thought of that before. But then when they started showing everybody, I was like, wait a minute, that this happened. Because I know the Uncle Ben part. I didn't understand the police captain part. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if the captain in Spider-Man 2.
Don't say, dude, does Tom Holland is close to a captain?
No.
I guess Tom Holland doesn't have that canon event either. I guess Tom Holland's out of that too.
Who knows?
I mean, he's still a young Spider-Man though.
Yeah, he'll probably get close to a captain.
He still hasn't met Gwen Stacy yet, so yeah, maybe that happens in Spider-Man 4.
I find
they got to add it in Spider-Man 4 now. This is a canon event now. It's a canon event. It has to happen.
I was gonna say, you had said, "Oh, nothing happened to the universe." Well, the universe didn't get destroyed. Well, what if the universe getting destroyed doesn't necessarily mean it's literally obliterated? You look at the ending of this movie and Earth 42. That could mean metaphorically it's destroyed.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. In the sense of but what Miguel is talking about is like the universe dissipating, like basically being erased. Like, okay, like the universe is destroyed because there's no Spider-Man. Like,
again, that could be looked at like Earth 42. The universe, I'm going to assume, was in peace and prosperity and all of that. They have police and everything. Now it's fucking Gotham City, literally.
Yeah. I said
with
it was like,
no Batman.
I feel like it's I compared it to Back to the Future Part 2. If you guys seen Back to the Future Part 2, you guys know what I mean. When Biff gets the almanac, he changes the past, and when Marty goes back to 1985, the whole Hill Valley is fucked. Like, it's fucked. And I thought about that when I watched that. I said, oh, he's Marty McFly now in the wrong universe. Like, that's what he is.
When he goes to the Biff Hotel, bro.
I don't think that
you're supposed to be in Switzerland, you little son of a bitch.
Bro,
I love Back to the Future. I love it. But go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on.
With that whole what you mentioned, like the canon event in Earth 42 didn't happen, and I guess it's how this went. It's a weird thing. That's why I hate multiverse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's the rules? Because like you talked about, like, if you talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Like with obviously you can't show characters glitching in live action like you do in animated. So that's another thing too, is like a lot of these villains weren't in their same universe. Why ain't they glitching? Like, why aren't they doing the certain things that if it was in Spider-Verse, they would be glitching, but you can't really do that in live action. So
like, I feel like
the rules are different.
I feel like the thing that it could be is, I feel like the thing that it could be is they went through this is a reach, but they went through a doctor. they went through a Doctor Strange portal. They didn't go through. They didn't literally go through the multiverse. They went through a portal.
It's the spell. Like it could maybe also because they was doing a spell while doing it as well. Like it could be that too. But I don't know. Like
but
it's the
there's
rules
always
are
a good
just
chance
probably
that
different. Obviously, it's different.
There's always a,
too.
Yeah, there's always a good chance that Kevin Feige just didn't give a fuck about what Sony was doing.
Yeah,
because I don't think, and plus, I don't think Sony at the time it was only Into the Spider-Verse. I doubt Sony told Kevin Feige about their multiverse plans and how it interacts. So I doubt that Kevin Feige thought to himself, "Oh yeah, I should probably pay attention to how Sony did their Spider-Verse and applied it to here." I don't think he ever thought of that.
It feels weird,
and I doubt that Sony ever thought to explain to him. I'm sure in the future, and I hope that's the case. In the future, we'll get those glitches. Not as apparent, but we'll just get those. But yeah, this is why I hate multiverse and timeline movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No matter how well you explain, your timeline will be so well explained, but there's always a fuck up. We saw this in Endgame. People, even the writers were debating on how Endgame ended, like what universe Captain America's in.
Yeah,
they're having a feud over that.
I go with when it comes to stuff like that. I go with the writers. They're the one writing the story. Like they're the one telling the story from the page to the screen. So whatever they say, that's who I trust when it comes to where if there is two Captain Americas, did he go to a universe and come back? Like if they said that what they said is true, then I go with them. But going back to this, I know we're in the scene where Miguel is explaining the multiverse and all that stuff. The way they show the multiverse, it looks like the multiverse from Loki. Like with the
I saw that and I said, bro.
I said, oh, so maybe they are paying attention, or maybe they're paying attention to one another to look alike a little bit.
I saw a report. I don't know how true it is. I don't know where it came from, but I just saw it said source. I was like, okay, that Sony and Marvel kind of interacted with each other. And just kind of like, hey, now that we're doing the multiverse together, let's.
And I felt that, especially with this scene. I mean, Miguel said, this is everything, and it just turns into a tree. I'm like, oh, that's actually dope. Yeah, that's the thing from Loki.
I don't know. I do think that maybe the web part of that multiverse that they showed is kind of catered specifically for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I think the general consensus of how the multiverse looks like with that tree, I think that's the general consensus of what it looks like.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, like, if we look at other characters, they'll have their own little webs.
Yeah.
And, canon events, I guess you can call it. Because CBA did talk about
their own shields, their own Iron Mans,
Yeah. We'll see in Iron Man 1, those whole different arc reactors.
How many She-Hulks are fucking twerking with Megan Thee Stallion, bro?
Right. That's a canon event. It happens in every universe. But yeah, I love this whole scene. This whole them explaining to Miles that and once he finds out his dad's about to become captain, he's like, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, your dad is fucked at the end of the day.
There's a lot of things that happen in this scene. So I want to talk about the things they show. So they show a whole bunch of captains dying. They showed Amazing Spider-Man. Everybody, oh my god!
I know which one you're ready to talk about.
Yeah. So they did show on the second. I caught it the second time. They did show Tobey Maguire. They showed it in the corner. I saw it. Yeah, I was like, oh.
I was trying to tell you. I was like, I saw a little piece, and I was like, is that Tobey Spider-Man?
Yeah.
You know why? You know why I didn't catch on to it? Because that was the same shot that they showed the one that I caught that nobody else caught in the first time.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2K.
Bro, I lost my fucking mind when I saw it. I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah, they made that shit actually canon, bro.
I was waiting on them to make the Spider-Man 3 game canon where you don't save the lady from the fucking bomb, it explodes and you gotta start over. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you guys are goats. But
it's just, bro, I love these people. Like, I just do. Like, they made something as stupid as that game. They're like, yeah, that's canon.
It's canon. Everything is canon.
Oh, like, but yeah, I just laughed so hard.
This is when we talk about celebration of character. This is a celebration of Spider-Man for sure.
First of all, this is exactly how you do cameos without it feeling obnoxious as shit. you're integrated them
for
into
sure.
the story. That's what makes those cameos special, because you're following along with the story, and you're like, oh yeah, thanks that guy.
Yeah, I mean, even when they show Andrew Garfield, like I'm like, oh, that's dope. It's like make it involved in the story. It's dope. But go ahead, Tyler.
So before this, but this turns into the next thing. We see Peter B. Parker shows up. I wish they didn't show him in the fucking trailer, because this whole part we essentially saw already.
We had to see him in the trailer. There was no way they wasn't not going to show him in the trailer.
No, I would have been fine if this was all for the first time, because I would have been more excited when he showed up.
Yeah,
but I was still happy when he showed up. His little baby is adorable. And also during this scene, we see Penny Parker with a new suit.
Yeah.
And this scene, oh my god, my heart from here until the end of this sequence, my heart was just pounding. I was like, yo, what the fuck is about to happen, bro?
Yeah, I mean, when you start seeing all the Spider-Man just like coming into the room and like swarming
I'm
Miles.
like, why are you getting up on him like that?
Yeah, you're like, wow.
I had to laugh. There were so many people that were just like, man, I can't wait to see Spectacular Spider-Man. He's gonna show up with his theme and everything. He shows up for 0.5 seconds, bro.
And for one line.
I was like, in my head, I said, it's like, okay. It's like, that's what y'all were excited for? Okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not shitting on Spectacular Spider-Man. I was just, everyone was like, yo, Spectacular Spider-Man. I was like, well, you got it.
Right.
That was him. You heard him.
So our third act chase begins, and all the spider people are going after. He goes, everyone go after Spider-Man.
Not even that. You forgot the one. Well, so he gets trapped in the trap, and he's trying to. Well, he doesn't like being called a kid. Do not call him a kid. And he's trying to open it up, and Hobie is the one that says, "Use your palms, not your tips, your palm." And he says it to him.
Spider-Punk. He is just so subtle in his like
stupidity. And then I love when he breaks it. He laughs. He like,
he's like, ha,
yeah. Hell yeah.
For the record, I quit.
Right. And then he just quit.
That was the best line in the whole movie. That was the best line in the whole movie. My theater erupted.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, man. My favorite line from him was easily when Mayday took a shit and he was like, you took a crap on the establishment. I salute you.
That was funny. But yeah, when he said, "Oh, for the record, I quit," I was like, "Let's fucking go!"
Yeah, that was dope.
Yes,
that was dope.
And Miguel gets on the thing. He's like, "Oh, go after attack Spider-Man!" And all the Spider-Man's like, "You." They did the point thing again.
Funny. Yeah.
I like
and he's like, "Miles Morales."
Sorry, I love how someone mentioned this. That whole pointing thing was specifically only for 3 Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's only for 3 Spider-Man every single time.
I caught it the second time. There's 1 Spider-Man. 3 people around him already caught on. So he was just pointing outside of the leg. Like, if you guys see it again, you'll notice there's 1 Spider-Man on the right side of the screen.
Oh,
he just points outside of the ledge, and he's just like, you too.
That's hilarious. So Miles is hanging on the back of some other random Spider-Man. He's like, "Oh, do I have webs on my face?" Oh, that was funny. And we get our big chase. He's running from everybody. This was the ultimate. Get him! This was the ultimate.
Let him get up!
They were all going after him. He gets attacked by a cat at one point that shoots webs out of his mouth. He gets attacked by a fucking dinosaur,
bro.
Like,
Spider-Man dinosaur, bro. Like, what?
Bro, and then the horse starts going after him, and he's shooting. Like, I was wondering, he's about to shoot the guns. I was like, what's about to come out that gun? And it's webs. I was like, that's hilarious.
I love how he gets on the horse.
That was
on 3.
3, 2.
Nope. You didn't wait on 3. You didn't wait on 1.
That was hilarious. This chase was awesome. They corner him, and Miguel's like, "Oh no!" One of the random Spider-Mans was like, "There's no way out," and he jumps out the window, and he's like,
"Sorry guys, there was a way to run there. There was." I feel like that voice is somebody that's like
I think someone mentioned that. I forgot.
I feel like that's
like Metro Boomin. It was some rapper.
I feel like it's somebody that's a rapper.
I think it was Metro Boomin.
I recognize the voice.
Someone mentioned it was a rapper.
I know Post Malone has a small cameo here too. I think it's the same line though. That it's a Banshee. I think it's a Banshee. I think that's Post Malone. Yeah.
It was Metro Boomin. Yeah.
Okay.
It was Metro Boomin.
I knew his voice
him.
sounded familiar. I'm like, that sounds like somebody I know. It was an awesome chain of events. And he does jump out the window, which is great. And I love he tries to web and there's nothing to web. Like he's like trying to web and there's nothing. Like, oh, I'm in the sky. I can't web anything. Miguel is like, to stop running. He's like, stop chasing me. Like, yeah, this whole chase sequence was dope. It does have your heart pounding throughout the entire thing.
I love how Peter B in the middle was just like, hold the baby, please.
Yeah.
You'll feel something. And I'm just like,
so Gwen is trying to get to him. She does get to him, and Miles said, nah, bro, fuck y'all, and rips the web off. When that happened, I said, oh
yeah, I was a little upset. Like, he feels betrayed though. I mean, why? He feels betrayed.
yeah.
My boy.
Yeah, man.
He so desperately wants to talk with everybody. He wants to be with everybody again. And then finding out that not only did they not want to talk to you, they were just like, nah, man. They did not want to talk to him. Gwen talking to him was a mistake in of itself.
I mean, the fact that he found out that he wasn't supposed to become Spider-Man, which obviously there's another thing we'll get to it at the end, but he wasn't supposed to get bit. And I love that Miguel is calling that out, but Miles is saying, I'm Spider-Man. Like I did this,
Listen, for the record, Miguel was a hater. I don't care what it is. You do not go up to somebody's ear and just utter those words. You don't belong here. And I'm just like, yo, chill, bro.
Yeah.
Somebody deep
said
he got in him, bro.
When he slammed Miles into the little train car, somebody was like, that was personal as hell. Like that looked personal.
He did that to Miles. Imagine what he does to Tom Holland Spider-Man, bro.
Right.
Some real hatred in that shit.
So throughout all this, Peter finds him and is like, oh, listen, let's just talk. And I guess they were tracking him the whole time. They're like, oh, yeah, we got your location. And he's like, oh, fuck. He's like, no.
You don't have my location.
And this leads up to this train or whatever. And that's when Miles and Miguel start going at it. And he was like, you really didn't think this through, did you? He's like, well, I did just lead about 100 spider people away from your lab. And you get probably the best line in the movie.
This is the best line in the movie.
Everyone's telling me how my story is going to end. Nah. I'm going to do my own thing. And he electrocutes Miguel.
At the bar.
And they all go flying. And he essentially flies away.
Right.
So he goes back to the what did they call it? I know it was a really stupid name. It was like the go home machine. Isn't that what they called it?
The go home machine.
Yeah, just basically the go home machine. Yeah.
And he's trying to, go home.
He's invisible, by the way. They don't know that he's the one. They think everything is turning on by itself, but it's Miles turning on.
So Kevin, when we saw it, he caught on to it. I was just trying to watch the movie. He caught on to it when he puts in the destination. It says Earth 42.
Yeah,
and Kevin was like, "Wait, what?"
I caught it too.
Bro,
I said that doesn't make any sense. He's not from that universe.
Listen, it was still a good reveal and twist at the end for those who didn't catch it, and it was still a good reveal for me. But I caught on to it. I was like, wait a minute, I don't think Earth 42 was this universe, and I'm just like, I thought Tyler caught on to it.
So, I caught on to it like 2 minutes later. So he goes away, and they're all talking amongst themselves, and Miguel's like, bro, fuck this shit. Sends Gwen back to her Earth, and he was like, oh, Jess, not Peter, Ben Reilly, and he took someone else, right? Or was it just those?
He said Peter somewhere, I think.
It was just those two. He told Peter he had enough of him. I had enough of you, bro. Like, yo, Miguel was
hilarious, man.
He's a straight hater, bro.
Ben Reilly in this movie was fucking hilarious.
Played by Andy Samberg.
My biceps.
Played by strong Andy Samberg.
That was funny. So we get the scene with Gwen, which again, the second time I was in fucking tears watching this.
Yeah.
They finally make up.
Yeah,
And
where that.
Just the animation is incredible. I love the scene. I love the parallels they make between one another, being Spider-Woman and the cop. That's amazing. Um, it's just a beautiful scene. So we get Miles coming out this portal,
Oh, we
and
didn't even say that. Hobie made a portal, made a device for Gwen.
well, yeah, she gives him, or she gets his
The dad
device,
gives him gives her the device.
which
She's able
was
to.
great.
Yeah,
My theater erupted for that one.
he was making it with all the parts that he was
Yeah.
taking from Miguel's lab.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that.
That's what he was
Yeah,
doing.
I was gonna say, I thought you didn't know that. When
Yeah,
you said that he ripped a piece out the wall, that was a piece of the watch. He was trying to get pieces
Yeah.
of the watch.
That's
He
actually
was just
cool.
casually.
Yep, that's what he was doing. He was getting all the pieces. It's funny from Miguel that he created the watch and Hobie made his own.
So Miguel's swinging around in this universe, and this is when I caught on. I was like, it's not his universe because
Yeah.
it was all like green and neon. I was
Right,
like, this is not his universe,
I
bro.
The
I
color threw
didn't.
me off.
I really liked how I think it was color coded because it was the same and it felt like the same animation style in both
Yeah.
universes, but the color scheme was different. It was raining, it was dark, but it was just a color. So I liked how
Yeah.
it was just like little bits. It's different, and I think for me, I think the
It's also
animation
the
style
way
was supposed to be different.
it's also the way it's
And
shot.
for
Too.
1610 was his universe. In Miles' original universe, I think the animation style was supposed to be different, but because Earth 42 Spider bit Miles, for us, since we're seeing this through Miles' eyes, for us
Looks
it
the same.
transforms the world into Earth 42 animation style, and then we see that carry over into Earth 42, which is that original animation style. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm probably hella reaching right now, but that's probably my little gimmick with it.
So Miles, we get this essentially this big montage. I will say on the second watch, the everything with Peter, I kind of found kind of cringy. I was like, this is going on.
Talking about with Mary Jane.
Yeah, I was like,
That
this is
could have
going
been cut
on.
out.
With, yes,
That could have been cut out.
definitely. I felt like it was taken away from everything that was happening.
The
I was
pacing.
like, I don't really need to see him. So Jessica, Miles, Miguel and Gwen, they're all in his universe, right? Like his real
Yeah.
universe. And then Miles is in Earth 42. So we're
Right.
getting like this montage of them all together.
think-
Gwen shows up in Miles's universe and kicks out Ben Riley and destroys this thing, which
I don't understand. You should have kept it because
that's what I said. That's exactly what I
Get
said.
to Miles, he needs to
Yes.
watch to be able to get back home. Well, to get to another universe. If you're
I
gonna
had said that. Watching it the second time, I was like, why did she do that? That was stupid. So we get this again, an amazing scene where Miles is finally about to reveal that to his mom that he's Spider-Man. And I don't know if this was supposed to be funny or not. I think it was supposed to be like a what the fuck moment, but both times I saw it, my theaters laughed. Like I found it kind of funny the first time, but like when he goes, "Mom, I'm Spider-Man," and she's like,
oh yeah.
"Who?" Again, I don't know if it was supposed to be funny or not.
I think it is because at the moment we don't know, we don't realize that he's not in the right universe. We just we thought she was being a mom, like she doesn't follow the trends or she doesn't really know who Spider-Man
No,
is.
she was very well aware that Spider-Man looked like that. Not his face, but like the suit. Like I think she was very well aware that he looked like that because she made a comment earlier in the movie.
Yeah, you're right.
So either she was probably very gullible, or maybe the movie kind of assumed that everyone caught on to that Earth 42 thing.
At that point, I knew something was off. One, his room doesn't look the same. And he put a jacket on that's not his jacket. Like the jacket he put on doesn't look like the jacket that he wore earlier. Like it doesn't look the same.
I like the little clue that the mom gave too. Like she said, "Oh, you grew out your hair or something like that."
Yeah, she's like, "Did you? Oh yeah, you changed your hair." I'm like, his hair didn't change at all, which I thought that was like, okay, that gives it away as well. But then I love when Miles realizes that he's in the wrong universe. Like when he realizes it, and then we see Uncle Aaron walk through the door. and his face. For one, he looked terrified, but then he hugs him, which I thought was weird. I'm like, why is he scared? I'm like, of course he's thinking about Prowler, but like that's his Uncle Aaron. And then he gives him a hug. So obviously, tells him that he misses him. And it's just
waiting
weird
for him to be like, "Hey."
Right? Yeah, I thought he was gonna do that too for sure. But then it's still like an off. I love this vibe because it feels very off-putting because Uncle Aaron is being like very mysterious and stuff like that. And then also it's weird because we're in the same, like they keep showing Gwen and then showing Miles, so you think that she's looking in the window, she's seeing Miles, and she doesn't. Because when she goes in the room, no one's there. And then she realized like, oh, he's not in the right universe. I do like the little conversation she has with Jeff and Rio. They act like very concerned parents. I do like all that stuff. And then we get back to the universe.
Well, no, I just want to mention the line where she says, "I don't know where he is, but I'm gonna go get him."
Yeah,
and she's like, "You better go get him."
Yeah,
I just the writing in this movie is just incredible.
For sure.
So we go back and he's rocking with Uncle Aaron, and he goes outside and he just sees everything demolished, and he sees that
fire,
his dad is dead in that universe.
Yes. Oh my God. That was like wow.
And Uncle Aaron knocks out Miles and ties him
it's
to
not
the bed.
Aaron. It was Miles. Miles is the one that knocked him out.
Prowler comes and knocks him out, and he ties him to a punching bag the same way he did to Peter in the first movie,
which was hilarious.
And Uncle Aaron, he hits the punching bag, and I think me and Kevin had the same reaction because
he killed him.
Yes,
he killed Miles
because they made it to where it explodes and it looked like a blood splatter.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, like legitimately, I thought he killed him, and then they. In a weird way,
he punched it so hard that the air came out of it. That's what that was resembling.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see how you assume that, especially with the color all being off and stuff like that.
Imagine that they would have killed Miles like that. I would have been like,
not even that. It's just that, like I expect.
They named the Spider-Man. Did it call
right? He's rated PG, right? Like, that's PG-13, almost the R if he's doing all that. But yeah.
That is not where my mind was going at the time, bro. So this thing comes up to Miles on the punching bag, and it's the Prowler, but it's weird that they called him the Prowler, but he's dressed like a Spider-Man Prowler hybrid. Like it's weird to me that he has the Prowler colors, but he kind of looks like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
and it's weird because he doesn't have any spider powers, but when I saw it the first time, when he jumps down, I'm like, oh, is he hanging? No, he just caught himself and landed. I'm like, oh, like that was kind of weird when I saw that. But the second time I caught him, like, oh, he grabbed the ledge and fell down when he was approaching Miles. When Miles was approaching Miles. I love this whole thing. Trust me, when he revealed, when he took the mask off and he was like, I love that he has more of a Hispanic, accent. And I was going more deep into it, and it makes sense because his dad wasn't there. So that's why he would sound more like his mom, because he was raised by his mom. And our Miles was raised with both parents. And he had an African-American father, so that's probably
really was it
like him. Well, really? we don't. To me, I felt
I assumed that he was just raised like different universe. He was probably raised. No, he probably just caught on to the Spanish faster than he did the English. I just thought that.
That's why I looked more into it. I looked more into it that like Miles didn't really have his father there. That's why he looks more mature. He looks more like he had to be the man of the house.
I feel you. I don't know. I just didn't. I thought that the dad died more recently.
Like recently, yeah. I guess we'll find that out in Beyond, because I feel like they're gonna go more into that.
Definitely.
But that's why I said I don't know the timeline, so I'm just assuming that. Like that's where I took from it. I'm not saying it's fact, But that's what I assume from it. Because even like the way Miles is looking at Miles, it's funny to say that Miles looking at Miles. He looks like he's been through some shit. Like he's been doing this for a while. And like I said, and now I could talk about what I was going to talk about. And like I said, I feel like this is a theory, but Into the Spider-Verse, when Miles see Peter
I know what you're gonna talk about.
Yeah, and his colors are green and purple, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be destined that our Miles was supposed to be Prowler, not Spider-Man. That the Spider-Man in this universe was supposed to be Spider-Man and not Prowler. So kind of like the roles reversed because the Spider went to Miles's universe. It's weird to keep saying Miles. Goodness. I gotta say Earth 42 miles, Earth 1610 miles. But I said I don't know if that's been confirmed. I know people are throwing that theory out there. I'm waiting for the writers to say. I'm ready for the writers to say this, because that once they say it's confirmed, then it's confirmed. But I like the theory. I thought the theory is pretty dope. Like I think the adds theory more of a layer to the movies.
I think the theory is more valid when you realize that, in both worlds, Miles was very close to Uncle Aaron.
Right.
So who we know is the Prowler anyway. Right. So it's more realistic to assume that, whichever one didn't become Spider-Man, the other was going to become
Prowler, right?
Prowler. Like we saw in Earth 42, and Tyler pointed this out, there was one scene with the Spy when he was just going through the future and all that. The Spider, or I think it was Miguel who in that scene, whichever it was, the Spider was supposed to bite Miles in Earth 42, not Peter. It wasn't like, so maybe it was just a swap thing. Whichever one didn't become Spider-Man, the other one became Prowler.
That scene was with the Spot, because the Spot took the Spider from that universe. He the one that took the Spider. He was experimental collider, and he took the Spider and escaped. But
yeah, that was just a cool thing. Maybe honestly that just puts into question, like, why the hell are two universes in a row? Like, what other universes does Miles become Prowler in?
That's my thing too. Where is all the Miles Moraleses at? Like, is there other Miles Moraleses that become Spider-Man? Like, where's all them at? Like, I was thinking about, where's the Miles Morales from the other cartoon that Donald Glover plays? Where's that Miles Morales? Where's the PS4? Where's the PS5 Miles Morales? Where's all this being tied into? That's why I feel like that might be Beyond the Spider-Verse. He might get all the Miles, not all the Peters. Like,
I don't know if they wanted to explain it, but I found it weird that in every single one of those universes that they were talking about, it was very hard and specific that there was only one Spider-Man. In all of them. Right. Whoever it was, there was only one Spider-Man. And that's why when Miles got bit in Earth...
The PS4 Spider-Man has two.
Yeah. That's why I'm just like, maybe... I don't know if they wanted to just say, oh yeah, there's no Miles because, in our rules, there's only one Spider-Man.
Because of Peter.
I don't know. I just found that weird. And honestly, speaking of the PS4 Spider-Man or PS5 Spider-Man now, I sincerely hope that in the next game we get like a little quippy comment about the fact that he was in another universe. I don't know. I just feel like that was
like about Peter. Like, I've met all these Spider-Men.
I found the Prowler. He looked a little weird, but that's the problem.
Like I met all these different Spider-Man. This Spider Society. Miles like, bro.
I saw another Miles. Miles. I saw another Miles.
He's
weird.
But,
he had really long hair.
Yeah. He had a real big afro.
But yeah, I think that it was pretty cool that and they kind of swap places. If that's the case, that the Miles in our universe was supposed to be the Prowler.
Right.
But in my opinion, as awesome of a cliffhanger as that Miles Earth 42 thing was, it's only going to last like maybe half an hour in that movie. In the next movie.
Yeah, I feel like it is too. I feel like this
we'll probably get like 2 minutes of Earth 42 Miles just explaining why Earth 42 is the way it is.
Right.
And then, we'll get some, hopefully one-on-one action. I think that would be really cool. Yeah. And then, 20, 30 minutes later, they'll just be like, all right, bro, we got to go. We got other shit to deal with.
Right.
That's just my opinion. But if they spend the entire thing in Earth 42, I wouldn't mind, because I think there's a really interesting direction they can go in. especially with Miles being the original anomaly because of a 42 spider. I wouldn't mind if they spent a lot of time in that universe.
Yeah.
But overall, I really like that a little bit.
And of course, we get the ending with Gwen assembling her own little team of spider people to go get Miles. We got some returning characters. Adam was
when we saw everybody.
Obi was there, and then we saw Penny was there also, and then
the spider people.
Spider Noir, my theater erupted. Spider Ham was there too, which was awesome.
Yep.
And then we got our to be continued.
Yes, sir.
And my theater
I was like, no.
Yeah. My theater erupted, bro. We were like, oh my God. And that is the end of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes, sir. Oh man. Also, part 1. Right now is that point. Y'all should have just put it part 1 at this point. But yeah.
I don't mind. I like that they have different names in them.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Same thing with Infinity War and Endgame. Like they scrapped the part 1 and 2. I very much like it when they have different titles because it feels its own distinguished movie.
It's gonna look nice on the shelf. That was different titles.
I forgot that was gonna be a thing. Infinity War part 1
and part 2. Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, because I was rewatching the Phase 3 announcement. I was like, wait a minute, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
But
that's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, you guys. If you guys have seen it, give us your favorite moments in the comment section below. Who was your favorite character? What's your favorite scene? What's your favorite line of dialogue? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts about this whole movie. This movie is fantastic. So far, it's my favorite movie of the year. I'm sorry to say, it's my favorite movie of the year.
For me, John Wick is still better only because I can't like the story's not complete. It is complete, but it's not complete. So I can't. It's the same reason why I can't say this movie is better than Into the Spider-Verse because Into the Spider-Verse, its story was done. Mm-hmm. So I can't really say if I like this movie more than Into the Spider-Verse. We'll have to wait on that. But that's why I say John Wick is my favorite because that story was complete and I love the ending of that movie. That's just me, but they're both 5 out of 5s. I love them both.
Right. For sure. I can agree with that. So, you ready to move on to our final topic? Of course, it is the Blu-ray collection update. I'm going to go first today because I actually have some stuff to show.
Yeah, I mean, you're going only. I didn't get anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to show just 2 little things. Well, I did pick up Creed 3 and Mario.
Nice.
We'll pick up Mario because I really did like Mario. So I went to Goodwill. If you guys did not see my Blu-ray hunt video, definitely go check out my Blu-ray hunt video. But I went to Goodwill and I saw a VHS tape that I really wanted. And so it's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, right? It's actually a pretty crispy VHS tape. It's like really crispy. And also the whole tape is rewound to the beginning, which I was surprised. But I wanted it obviously for display purposes because this brings back a lot of nostalgia. But it was in a crate that I had to buy like 5 items to buy this one. So I had to buy 5 other VHS tapes, which is hilarious. So these are the 5 VHS tapes I had to buy. You guys can see what they are. That's what I had to pick up in order to get this one VHS tape. So now I have like 4 VHS tapes that I really didn't want, but yeah.
Bro, how much you pay for those?
The whole thing was $2.
Oh, I was about to say, bro.
How much you thought I paid?
I don't know, but
it's Goodwill.
He was about to tell me, "Oh yeah, I paid $20 just to get Sorcerer's Stone." Bro.
Oh no, I would no. You don't go to Goodwill to pay $20 for a movie. You go to Goodwill to pay $2 or $1 for a Blu-ray. That's what you go to Goodwill for. New York is probably too good to have Goodwill, so it's okay.
You're right.
We get it. Absolutely we get it. But I mean, this VHS tape is fucking beautiful. I love the artwork. It's so classic. To see Harry on the back and on the broom, to see that spine, that's beautiful spine with the Warner Brothers logo, and this brings back so much memories, bro. Way before you guys' time.
You see it like I didn't have VHS, bro.
I mean, by the time you started getting into movie, they stopped making VHS tapes. Like
this was very true, bro.
They stopped making VHS tapes like 2005.
I still have VHSs, bro.
Yeah, it's okay though. But you have VHS tape, but you weren't in the VHS thing. You know what I mean? Damn, goodness. Let me have this moment
because I watched VHSs.
Let me have this moment. Let me have this moment. I think when you were born, DVDs was a thing. That's what I'm telling you. Goodness gracious, listen to what I'm saying. But yeah, that's it. That's it, you guys. That's episode 68 of Nerd Talk. Another one in the books. I'm gonna say this again. Check out Mind of a Nerd's Instagram. I'm not gonna keep saying it. Check it out, bro. He has great reviews. If you guys have not subscribed to my channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more. I can't promote anything of Kevin because he probably don't do shit on no social media or anything. So I'm sorry, Kevin. You left in the dust again.
Real quick before we go. So, as of now, Saturday, we will be doing our Rise of the Beast spoiler talk.
Yeah.
And next Tuesday, as of now, we will be doing a watch along for the Flashpoint Paradox because the Flash comes out next Friday.
Yes.
If we cannot do Rise of the Beast on Saturday, we will do it on Tuesday, and we will not be doing the Flashpoint Paradox watch along. That is the plan right now. We will keep you guys updated. But as of now, Saturday night, Transformers Rise of the Beast spoiler talk. Tuesday, Flashpoint Paradox watch along.
Yeah, most likely I'll make a post on my channel, and we'll obviously me and Tyler will communicate everything within this next day about that, because I got to give you at least one more day to confirm everything. But yeah, I'm very excited for this week. I'm just thinking about everything this month so far, like what we got to do for Nerd Talk. Like it's fucking insane.
This next spoiler talk, bro.
Like not even that Rise of the Beast and Flash back to back. Like
I'm seeing Rise of the Beast tomorrow.
Like what the fuck?
24 hours from now. 24 hours from now, I will have seen Transformers Rise of the Beast. 24 hours from now.
See this Alex abandonment right here.
What are you talking about?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, because we got the Transformers tickets when they came out, and then 24 hours, like 2 hours later, he's just like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna see you the day early." I'm like, "You just didn't consult anybody."
Yeah, you just want to see it.
Abandonment right here.
You just want to see it before everybody. It's okay. It's okay.
It's not before everybody. People have seen it.
We could have seen it as a group.
Out of our clan? What are you talking about?
Well, no.
You're right. We could have seen it as a group for the first time, and then you're out here saying, "Hey, I'm gonna watch it first."
It's okay.
Abandonment right here.
It's all right. We get it. Have your fun. But yeah, if you guys, like I said, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more episodes of Nerd Talk will be coming in the near future. If you guys are ready for those as well. More Blu-ray hunting, reviews, live streams, watch alongs, all that stuff coming as well. And you guys have a good night, and we're on this one. Peace out.